You've probably taken 4 completely different categories of painkiller in your life and assumed they were all doing roughly the same job. They're not. An ibuprofen, a shot of local anesthetic at the dentist, a hospital-grade opioid, and a Tylenol are hitting 4 different targets in 4 different places in your body through 4 mechanisms that don't overlap. 2 of them stop pain before it's created. One of them intercepts the signal on its way to your brain. And one of them, the one sitting in basically every medicine cabinet on Earth, has been used for over a century, and scientists still can't fully agree on how it actually works. Here's the part that should mess with you a little. Pain relief isn't one job. It's at least 4 separate jobs, and painkillers just happen to share a marketing category. Start with NSAIDs, ibuprofen, aspirin, naproxen. Pain and inflammation are driven by molecules called prostaglandins, produced by an enzyme called cyclooxygenase, or COX for short. NSAIDs block COX directly, right at the site of an injury, so the prostaglandin signal never gets made in the first place. Less prostaglandin means less swelling, less sensitized nerve endings, less pain, because the alarm system itself got throttled before it could ring. This mechanism wasn't actually confirmed until 1971, when pharmacologist John Vane figured out how aspirin worked, a drug people had already been using for 70 years without anyone knowing the mechanism. He won a Nobel Prize for it. NSAIDs work at the injury. That's the whole category in one sentence. Local anesthetics work somewhere completely different, not at the injury, but at the nerve fiber carrying the signal away from it. Drugs like lidocaine and novocaine block sodium channels directly on the nerve, the same class of channel behind our video on people who can't feel pain at all, where a broken sodium channel called NaV 1.7 leaves someone permanently unable to sense injury. Local anesthetics do that on purpose, temporarily, and only in one small area. Block the sodium channel, and the nerve physically cannot fire an action potential past that point. The injury still exists. Your body just can't report it because the wire got cut on purpose. Buckle up, because opioids operate on a completely different principle. Not blocking the signal, but changing how your brain and spinal cord respond to it once it arrives. Morphine, oxycodone, fentanyl, they all bind to opioid receptors your body already has, the same receptors your own natural endorphins use. That's not a coincidence. It's the entire reason they work at all. Instead of stopping the pain signal from being sent, opioids dial down how much your nervous system reacts to it once it lands, at the spinal cord, before it even reaches conscious awareness, and again in the brain, which is part of why they can produce relief and euphoria at the same time. Different injury, same signal path, but the volume knob on the receiving end gets turned down instead of the alarm getting cut off. And then there's acetaminophen, Tylenol, which might be the strangest one on this list because it's also the one people trust the most. It's not an NSAID. It barely touches inflammation. It's been in continuous medical use for almost 150 years, sold by the tens of billions of doses every year. And researchers will tell you, honestly, that nobody has fully nailed down how it actually relieves pain. The leading theory involves a brain-specific version of that same COX enzyme from earlier, plus a metabolite that acts on completely different receptors tied to temperature and pain modulation in the central nervous system. But leading theory is doing a lot of work in that sentence. One of the most used drugs on the planet, studied for a century and a half, and its actual mechanism is still genuinely not settled science. So one category shuts down the alarm at the injury. One severs the wire carrying the message. One turns down how loudly your nervous system reacts once the message arrives. And one works reliably for reasons nobody can fully explain, which is a strange thing to realize about the pill probably sitting in your bathroom right now. 4 categories, 4 completely different jobs, all filed under the same word: painkiller.
You made it to the end, which means the exit fee is due. 1 subscribe. That's the toll. I'm flipping this tablet around like I'm expecting a tip on a bottle of water, and you're paying it in the form of a like. Don't, and I'm assuming your MHC molecules are incompatible with mine. And honestly, things are about to get real awkward between us. Stay wrinkly, apes. See ya.